And this is one of those storms where the farther south you go, the more snow you're going to get. So a little bit of snow possible in New York, but it's more like Philadelphia, southern New Jersey, Washington, D.C., and then you go farther south and it transitions to ice and then eventually rain. This will occur tonight into early tomorrow morning, and then that will exit. Then we get ready for the next storm system. This one is going to be more snow to ice to rain. So for the East Coast, it will eventually transition to rain, but before it does that, we are going to see some snow across Chicago tomorrow evening. Buffalo will see some snow, then a transition to ice. Even in New York City, we'll see some snow before it goes to ice and rain in time for the Thursday morning commute. So here's the snow we'll get from the first storm system. Again, not much in New York. You have about 2 to 4 inches in Philadelphia, higher amounts the farther south you go in New Jersey, Washington, D.C., about 4 to 6 inches. Back through the Appalachians, we're looking at some higher amounts, closer to 8 inches in the higher elevations. This is storm number 2. Chicago could end up with about 6 to maybe 8 inches in some areas. Central Michigan, also that 6 to 8 inch range, and then that's going to extend into northern Illinois. Now, this is also going to be the ice maker that we'll see across parts of the Northeast. Altoona could end up with 1/10 of an inch of ice. Again, this is going to be very, very slippery, especially back through the Appalachians, but for the East Coast itself, even though it will ice overnight, it will transition to rain by Thursday morning. Peter.
All right, Dylan, appreciate it very much. And we turn now to a flurry of new developments from the Trump White House. The president now demanding the release of all remaining hostages in Gaza and making threats if that does not happen. Meantime, his push to reshape the federal government is facing new legal setbacks this morning. We have it all covered, beginning with NBC's chief international correspondent, Keir Simmons. Keir, good morning.
Peter, good morning. Good to see you in the chair. This ceasefire was always likely to be more fragile over time. Now more doubts over the release of hostages, including Americans, as President Trump weighs in. This morning, President Trump in a standoff with Hamas, saying he wants to cancel the ceasefire deal if they don't release all hostages by Saturday.
As far as I'm concerned, if all of the hostages aren't returned by Saturday at 12 o'clock, I think it's an appropriate time. I would say cancel it and all bets are off and let hell break out.
The carefully negotiated ceasefire inching closer to collapse. And this morning, Israel says its military is on the highest level of alert after Hamas said it would indefinitely delay releases, claiming Israel isn't meeting its obligations. And 3 hostages were freed last weekend in emaciated condition. Now the president's renewed threat that all hell will break loose.
If they're not returned, all of them, not in drips and drabs, not 2 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 2.
This weekend, President Trump doubling down on his call for Palestinians to leave Gaza.
Would the Palestinians
no
have the
big
right
money
to return?
spent. No, they wouldn't, because they're going to have much better housing.
And ahead of a meeting today with the King of Jordan, threatening to potentially withhold funding for Jordan and Egypt if they don't cooperate by taking millions of refugees. Both countries are clear that's a destabilizing prospect they would not accept. Potentially another impasse at a critical moment. And Peter, Hamas has told NBC this morning that the president should stop his threats, though it has said the door is open to more hostage releases. And President Trump was clear, decisions are ultimately Israel's. But Peter, this morning there's news of the death of another hostage. Peter.
Keir Simmons with the very latest for us this morning. Keir, thank you.
Here at home, President Trump made it official late last night, signing a pair of executive orders that will impose stiff tariffs on imported steel and aluminum. And this move being met with criticism from leaders around the world. NBC's senior White House correspondent Garrett Haake with that story. Hey, Garrett, good morning.